Before the world knew skyscrapers, luxury cars, and satellites, there was a place hidden deep in the heart of the rainforest where kings ruled not by swords, spear, or bow and arrows alone, but by the spirit of their ancestors. They were fierce and command great respect. This was no ordinary kingdom. This was Benin Kingdom, also known as the Great Benin Empire, famous for its riches, such as palm oil, rubber, ivories, towering walls, sacred bronzes, and an unshakable tradition that echoed through every drumbeat. And in this glorious land, a new ruler was crowned, Oba Ovonramwen Nogbaisi, popularly known as Oba Ovonramwen, a king chosen not just to reign, but to protect the soul of his people. In the great palace, built from red earth and royal pride, the Oba sat upon a throne of ancient power. His voice guided the land, his words blessed the people, and his gaze stretched beyond the palace walls. From the carved ivory towers to the bronze warriors that watched over Benin City, every piece of the kingdom pulsed with sacred order. Foreign traders came and went, but none could touch the core of Benin, because the Oba was more than a king. He was a guardian of a sacred world. For many years, Benin Kingdom and the foreigners enjoyed a prosperous trade relationship. The foreigners had done business with the kingdom and witnessed firsthand the immense wealth and organization of Benin Kingdom. But soon, trade was no longer enough. They wanted more. They wanted control, full dominion over the Benin Kingdom. But the great Oba was not a ruler who would surrender his people's sovereignty. He refused to let foreign powers dictate the fate of his kingdom. And so, the foreigners began to nurse darker ambitions, plans that would soon unfold with devastating consequences. But while the Oba ruled in peace, beyond the rivers and forest paths, shadows gathered. In faraway rooms, lit by lanterns and greed, foreign powers laid out maps, not just of land, but of ownership. To them, Benin was a locked vault of ivory and art, and they wanted the key, and so they plotted. Letters were written, soldiers disguised as messengers, and a dangerous plan began to unfold under the banner of the so-called civilization. They wanted control over Benin's wealth, its trade, and its people. They sent envoys demanding access, but the Oba stood firm. Benin was not for sale, as the Oba refused to honor the so-called agreement with the foreigners. The Oba, respectful of tradition, when he got the message from the foreigners of their coming, he warned them, "Do not come. This is our sacred season." As you would expect, they came, anyway, marching through the sacred lands, dismissing words as weakness. In January 1897, the foreigner consul led an uninvited mission into Benin. Despite the Oba's warning, they entered during a sacred festival, and the kingdom responded, not in chaos, but in defense. Warriors emerged like spirits from the trees, armed with spears and purpose. In the shadow of the forest, fire met steel, and by the end, the ground held the silence of fallen strangers. The foreigners called it a massacre, but the people of the great Benin Kingdom called it justice. The foreigners struck back with vengeance. Vengeance came like a storm. The sky darkened with smoke as red coats marched with guns and fire. Thousands of troops invaded. They called it the punitive expedition, but it was more than punishment. It was plunder. Palaces burned. Children cried. Thousands of its treasures, such as bronzes, ivories, crafted by generations, were stolen, loaded onto ships like trophies, and the once great Benin city was reduced to embers. But amidst the ashes, one thing was missing: the king. The foreigners searched every ruin, every shrine, every shadow, but found nothing. The Oba had vanished, disappeared like morning mist. Guided by loyal warriors, he moved through sacred forests and secret villages. No one betrayed him, no one whispered, because to the people, he wasn't just a man, he was Benin itself. And then the stories began. They said the Oba became a bird and soared above the trees. They said he walked into the river, hand in hand with the spirits, and never returned. Mothers whispered it to their children. Elders swore they saw him in dreams. He was no longer a king in hiding. He was a legend, living in the heart of every drumbeat. But legends sometimes return. On a quiet August morning, under a sacred tree in Ugoton, the Oba reappeared, dressed not in chains, but in royal regalia, accompanied by over 700 people. He walked into the hands of his enemies with the dignity of 1,000 ancestors. He did not kneel. He did not plead. He simply stood and surrendered his crown, but not his soul. They sent him away, far from his people, to the city of Calabar, with two of his wives, Queen Egbe and Queen Igobahi. He was received and hosted in Calabar, in a small town called Essien Town, by Etinian Essien Etim Ophion, the progenitor of Essien Town. His palace became a prison, his words confined to the walls of strangers. But every sunset reminded him of home. Every breath was a prayer to return. He died in exile, but his spirit never left Benin. His body was brought home and laid to rest within the sacred grounds of the palace. The royal lineage lived on, as his first son and rightful heir, Prince Agbobasimwen, ascended the throne. He was crowned Oba Eweka II, continuing the legacy of kingship and restoring dignity to a bloodline that refused to be broken. And now, long after the fire cooled and the statues were taken, his story still echoes in the royal line that still reigns, in the bronzes that cry to come home, and in the hearts of a people who remember. The king who vanished but was never lost, the Oba who disappeared but never truly left. To this day, the priceless treasures of the once mighty Benin Empire, looted by foreign forces over a century ago, remain imprisoned in foreign museums. These sacred artifacts, steeped in culture and history, are still yet to return to their rightful home, the Benin Kingdom, present-day Benin City.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like and share with your friends and family. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we upload new content just for you.